guys, welcome back to League of Mayhem. This is episode 24. I can't believe we are on 24. And we have once again special guests with us. So aside from the people that you already know, Co and I, and our amazing Tiff, we also have today Amanda, Connor, and Jimmy Palmiotti. Did I mess up your names? Please tell me if I mess up your names, because I'm horrible with that.
Amanda Connor is pretty easy. The Palmiotti part gets a little tough.
But you got it.
All right, good. I know it's, you know what, my real name gets really messy sometimes with people as well. So I'm just sort of getting, conscious about it. But anyway, how are you guys?
Doing good. Doing well. A little sore from yesterday. We had fun yesterday. We went to a water park. So I have like aches and pains. But other than that, we're fine.
Stuff you get no hurt.
The kids we landed on, they're in a lot worse shape. So, it's okay.
For anyone watching who doesn't know, Jimmy and Amanda are not only an amazing couple, but they're also the parents of comic book Harley Quinn, as we know and love her. And also responsible for Power Girl and Harley Quinn team up issues and the upcoming Painkiller Jane.
Thank you.
It's kind of a big deal. Very flattered.
We do have a link
behind Amanda's head. There you go.
Yeah, there she is.
Speaking through.
We do have a link for your Kickstarter in the bio for the stream. So, do you want to tell us a bit more about that? Especially?
Sure. Well, when we've been working for the big two and the big three and however many big companies there are. I've also been publishing my own work for a long time with Event Comics in the 90s with Joe Quesada and with Paper Films, which is our company. And I've been doing Kickstarters. I've done 17 of them.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I was one of the first mainstream people to try out the format, and then everybody else has been doing a lot better than me ever since. It's fantastic. And
I don't know, having so many and like being able to be successful with them sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. I have a help from obviously Amanda helps me out with the covers and doesn't charge too much, and then and then I have a friend, our friend Patrick Wedge, that helps out. But we do them. We put out our own books and our own ideas, and it's like no editorial anything. The books we do are all adult, and the Painkiller Jane one out now. Again, as an adult character, she's like a crime fighter slash. I don't know, how would you explain?
I feel like it's like a mashup of crime fighting, capers, and like a hint of like angsty superhero, but not so superhero-y. More
like wise ass. She's like a wise. She's very outwardly sexual, outwardly violent. She says what is on her mind, and then she.
A New Yorker.
She's like a New Yorker. We basically based her on. I based her on all the women I know, so they're all tough and they curse like sailors.
And I thought she was just like a female version of you.
And Amanda says, but yeah, so we do the books, and the new one is on Kickstarter now. I think we have like 18 days left, and it's just like a done in one story. This one's 44 pages, and just beautiful art by Romina. We have an artist from Italy that
she's fantastic.
She's fantastic, and because I was going to have her on this book, I set the whole story in Italy. So I figured, all right, nobody's going to draw this better than somebody that lives there.
Yeah,
so
right?
Yeah, so I kind of wrote it for her, knowing she was gonna draw it, and then we got like a bunch of cool covers by Amanda, by J.G. Jones, Bill Sienkiewicz, a whole bunch of people. So that's that. And I averaging like around 2 or 3 a year right now, because they are a lot of work, and I do have to pack like over 1,000 packages anytime with the campaign's done. So me and my buddy hand pack every one of them. Actually, if I see a name I know, I write a little message on the envelope and stuff like that. But it is a very grassroots thing, but it's a reaction to wanting to own our own characters instead of constantly giving away stuff to corporations that we're happy to do the work for them, but we wish we would benefit a little more from their when they're very successful, and we don't. So So we kind of do this on the side.
That's amazing.
That's
and also
awesome.
like such a great idea to like use Kickstarter to fund your personal projects, because like I can imagine it can't be easy to have to go through the whole process of pitching the character, getting it signed on and what have you. And this way you're literally you're just working for yourself and the fans that already love you.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, I have a connection because with the Kickstarter, the whole time it's live and even afterwards, anyone that backed the campaign can write a message directly to me and say, hey, you know, what is this? Or where is my package? Or the mailman rolled it up. Can you send me another copy? Whatever it may be. It's a constant stream of interaction with everybody. And I get back to everyone within a day. So, you know, doing this many, I do have it like around 4 or 5 constant customers that will back every single one of them. And
awesome.
with all of them, I've never delivered late on any of them, and I've never had a complaint. Like, I've had somebody complain to me, but I've taken care of them above and beyond. So there is no internet searching of my Kickstarters where people are going, I never got my book or I never got my package. I actually make sure every single person is taken care of. And even that guy in New Zealand I had to send 4 packages to, it was finally, I lost a lot of money on him, but he finally got his stuff. I was actually going to just fly there and bring it to his front door at some point because I couldn't take it anymore. So it kept getting lost. Like, I had a package that just kept getting lost. And again, it is a bit of a trip from here to New Zealand, so I get it.
I hear it's beautiful though.
Yeah, we've been there. It definitely, New Zealand is it's 2 islands, and we've only done the top island.
The North Island.
Yeah. But it is like Lord of the Rings / looks like Ireland a little bit, and
That's
then
awesome.
Yeah, like there's different landscapes that look like different movies. You know,
Oh,
like
wow.
there's one landscape that looks, of course, you know, like the Lord of the Rings, and then there's another landscape that looks like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then it's pretty amazing.
And then there's a lot of places, if you like wine, you can go drink.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
indeed.
Yeah, so it's a fun place. The people are sweet. I was kind of an a-hole to somebody. I didn't realize I was doing it. When I went in to get a Coke and I asked for ice in my glass, and the woman goes to me, I'm sorry, so we don't do ice here. And I you know, the Brooklyn in me, I just went away right away. I just said, did you lose the recipe? And, you know, I just said that without thinking. You know, it's like, you can't take the Brooklyn out of boy. And then I realized, like, oh, what an asshole I am. But, you know.
I do like that remark, though. Did you lose the recipe?
That's funny.
It was too, like, I didn't have a chance to slow down and have integrity. I just went, you know, I wanted my ice cube.
I like that remark, though. I really do.
Yeah, that's honestly perfect.
Yeah.
You said like this is a bit of a side topic, but you said with the rude remarks, this is just a little funny because I am a naturally sarcastic person, and I have a very dry humor. And I think it comes up from my like first language because you know, I am Czech, and Czech people tend to be very like, we have very dark and dry humor. And I remember when I first met Cole, which is over a decade ago now, but she had absolutely no understanding to sarcasm. Now imagine with my broken English at the time, trying to be myself on the texts with her. She thought I was mad at her half the time. She just
it was a combo of the fact that I didn't have much experience with people who were considerably sarcastic, but also like, you know, social anxiety. So it's like I would ask her, "Are you mad at me? Are you sure?" And she's like, "No, I'm having you on." And I still have trouble with that, especially in text. So we have this system now, especially in group chats, that if she notices me struggling to understand the sarcasm or I'm getting fired up because I think I'm being insulted, she posts a GIF from The Big Bang Theory where Leonard pops up behind Sheldon with a sarcasm sign. I'm like, oh, so that's my
Nice.
sign to.
That's a good
really,
idea.
Really back, because like more than once with our guy friends, especially, they'll suddenly let the asshole out, and I'm getting steamed, and then Nana's like, no, you're okay. We good.
Yeah.
We good here.
you would hate being around me and the guys in Brooklyn. Because it's all about, well, hey, I was banging your mother last night, and they're like, oh, really?
Oh, no,
Can you tell her? Can you tell her we didn't? I didn't get dinner last night. Like it's just constant flow, and we argue so much. People that don't know us think we're mad at each other, and it's not that. Like we're actually laughing, and that's the guys, right?
I'm from New Jersey. I understand that.
Yeah, you get that.
But
all right,
but like it's kind of like when like a friend is like arguing with me for no reason, and I'm like, are we having an actual argument here, or am I just not catching the social cues or something? And 9 times out of 10, it's usually me.
Yeah, I got Amanda a nice key ring. What did it say on the key ring?
It says, "You're my favorite asshole." That was my Valentine's gift.
I love it.
Oh, there you go. There's the Kickstarter.
Nice.
We're doing pretty good with it.
It's absolutely beautiful work so far.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, and if you scroll down a little bit, I think you can see some of the covers. That's
very cool.
That's Romina Morelli's cover. There is a lot of sex and violence in the book, so it's not for kids. It's I figure you can get all the regular all ages comics you want from the comic store. So I like to deliver something a little naughty. Yeah. That's in big type. This is not for the kids.
You did do a kid-friendly book once.
I did. It didn't do very well. And then there's a stretch goal. So in Kickstarter, every time you hit a certain number, you get some more stuff. So even if you back the book digitally, like you keep getting digital rewards and stuff like that. So the cheapest way you can back it is $6, and you get a digital copy of the book delivered to you. And because we hit some stretch goals, you actually get some other issues as well. And then that's an actual sticker sheet for another stretch goal, so you get that in the mail.
She looks really cool.
Yeah. She's been around since '95.
Wow.
So I've been working.
Yeah, that sounds about
doing
right.
books on it. We actually had a 22 one-hour episode TV show on the Sci-Fi Channel at one point.
Oh, so that was I was
Okay.
Googling about it a few days ago, and
Yeah,
I saw that, and I was like, wait, is that his thing? Or...
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we get. So there's a lot of different covers because comic people love different covers.
Oh yeah.
And then we do it. Amanda, we don't even. Amanda doesn't draw it anymore. We just put Amanda's name on the cover and it sells. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god, I'd be heartbroken if you didn't draw anymore.
No, I like that's my favorite thing. Like sometimes when I have to write, I'm like, oh, I'd rather be drawing. So.
And then that's some interior art, not lettered, but it's interior art from the book. And like I said, Romina's amazing. She's not really known here yet, but that'll change.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly.
And we had to put little bands across the. I guess the naughty bits, except for the butts. I figured, what butts? Everyone's, It's really strange when people get offended at it. I don't even know.
It really is. It's like you can show an overweight man with B cup with like a C cup boobs all day. Yeah. But if a lady does it, it's like, oh my god.
I cannot. Yeah, I can never figure that out. It's like.
It's a good title, though. Overweight man with C-cup boobs is a good book title. Shirtless boob man.
Oh my god.
Man. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I might not read that one. Just gonna let you know now.
But I can never understand. I'm like, well, if guys can be topless, why can't girls?
Actually, in New York, you're allowed to be topless.
New York,
in Central Park, you're allowed to go.
Oh, in Central Park, you can't go to like
No, you can. Apparently, it's only in Central Park. A lady can be topless like a man, but the cops will still try to take you in for it. Of course.
Really?
There was a.
Why Central Park though? Why Central Park?
I don't know. Something to do with being inspired by how in Amsterdam you can be pretty much naked and having sex on the bushes in the park.
I like on the road.
I was gonna say road, and I was like, wait.
Beep, beep. Well, they have horses in Central Park, so I don't think it would be too safe to have sex on the road. So, you don't want to give those horses any ideas.
Mystery
That's
adult
fair, that's
cover.
fair.
That is intriguing.
Yeah, so Amanda does the cover. We don't show it, and then that's our friend Jen Van Damsel. She's a photographer and a model, and she shoots her own pictures.
This is
So-
Wow.
like, I love the cosplay, but I just love how like she includes these Polaroids as well.
Yeah, and she signs the Polaroid. I think we sold out of all those actually, which is pretty. Know your audience, I guess. But and then we do we have a lot of different levels because some of the books appeal to collectors as well, right? So there's people that buy books just because they want to collect things. So and this is a cool one we do. If you scroll up a little more, it's a black and white cover. The other way, I guess down is the way I'm saying, right?
Oh.
No, the other way. But these are it's a black and white cover, and then I'll draw in the barrel of the gun. I'll do an original piece in the barrel of the gun.
Oh,
this
that
one
is
is-
Very
so
cool.
clever.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and we only print 100 of those total. So,
Wow.
so it's a very limited book as well. So again, we appeal to the collector that wants to have. And then there's the 201 by Amanda. There's a little piece in there, and we have only 50 of those. And then it goes on, because we have a lot of editions. We have a mystery box, which is hysterical, because it literally is you get the books, and then we just fill the box with stuff.
It's crap.
We go through the house, and we've old t-shirts and
Toilet paper roll.
toilet paper.
That is awesome.
I think we did do toilet paper once. During
What?
During COVID, we did send out some toilet paper. I think
We did.
That
Actually,
is awesome.
a guy won a contest, and we sent one of those giant industrial rolls of toilet paper. They're like a
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen the ones that you can buy online, and they come with their own roll holder.
Yes, we sent somebody won one, and it was gigantic. I mean, it's not the greatest wiping paper,
it's not. Soft.
But you get a lot of it though.
Yeah, but you
But
get.
you do get. Hey, if it was post-apocalypse, of course, that would be. You could trade a car for that.
Yeah, there you go.
When it lacks in softness, it makes up for in quantity.
But yet, during COVID, we were giving away a lot of COVID-related things because we thought people needed them.
Yeah.
So
Well, even during COVID though, I mean, we ended up, our family, I think all they had available was the 1-ply, but that stuff lasted forever. Our family's like, when do we get the real stuff?
and just get the kids in the backyard with a hose,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not sure how that would go down in Michigan winter, but
Oh yeah, it would be they'd be frozen.
It'd be very quick.
Icicle. You'd be wiping with an icicle. That would be tough.
Ow.
Yeah, no good.
I'm confused. I'm the guy who
Okay,
posted
Fuzzy.
that video where I fart a lot and taking a picture of my G-string. My nickname. What the?
What kind of show do you guys run here?
I don't know. This is
we have
Wait.
no idea. This is the first one.
That's
This
a
is-
secret. I'm like, it's not a secret
Well,
anymore.
Patrick, you just exposed. Oh, look, he was blocked.
No, I put him in. I put him in timeout because, he's being naughty. But still, it's like we do moderating for a lot of other channels, like for
Right.
Tiff's husband Enosh, and he gets crazy people in there like that all the time. That's the first time we've seen someone like that.
Yeah.
So it's achievement unlocked, I guess.
To be fair,
It's Amanda's fault.
last stream one
It's
of our
Amanda's
friends
fault.
threatened to get a tattoo of our logo, so that was a little disturbing.
Oh.
That
remember
I was frightened. I was
hosting a panel with Stan Lee, years ago. In I think it was Dallas or one of those places, and Stan was late. And they just told me on stage, they said, just keep the audience busy. He's going to be 30 minutes late. And it was like 5,000 people. And so
No
I didn't know
pressure.
what to do. So I went on stage after I did my imitation of Stan. I said, hey, if anybody has a tattoo of a Marvel character, you can come up on stage and show it off. right? Well,
Oh, no.
I didn't expect like 150 people to come up, and they're taking their tops and they're pulling their pants out, and then Stan Lee comes out and he's like, "This is fantastic," you know. He was just like, and I'm like, "All right, everybody, get up the stage. Stan's here. Get out of here."
Get off the stage, put on your clothes.
I did not expect how clever people were hiding Iron Man and the Thing, you know.
Oh wow!
I mean,
Oh god.
yeah, and Mr. Fantastic, that was something else. Anyway,
Oh,
Oh, I'm sure they were implying something was fantastic.
exactly.
That was a ballsy move, though. Very brave of you to literally say, if you got a tattoo, it's like, I think I would have thought of like, hey, that's opening up a kettle of worms, man. You don't want to go.
But you want to entertain people. I mean, what's greater than getting some of the audience up?
But they were entertained, weren't they? Though.
That's right. And I don't, you know, they couldn't have sued me or anything. I just ran off the stage when I was done. I literally just kept, you know. They blame Stan.
Yeah, it's Stan's fault.
You can get away with it.
And now we can blame Patrick. What's his name? Skarsgård.
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 Well, okay.
We actually met the two of you a few years ago at a San Diego Comic-Con, and it was funny because we were wearing it was the one time I wasn't cosplaying Harley, and we were there to get a Harley book signed by you guys. And it's funny though, because I didn't realize I didn't know who Jimmy was at the time, so he's not in the picture. I unfortunately,
Yeah, let me
Mike,
pose. And then you can take that and then put it in the photo.
there you go.
it's so I'm trying to pull it up, but like I accidentally Mike Wazowski'd you, you know, like in the Monsters Inc. movie.
Amanda, how much does that happen? People come up and they look at me and then they go, "Hey, Amanda, can you sign this?" And I'm just like, I wrote it. I wrote that.
It's
so
funny.
bad.
I mean, well, there's sometimes when, but I mean, if you've never met the person before and you don't know what they look like,
Yeah.
because I remember, you know, like you ran off to the bathroom at some point and somebody came up to Patrick and they were like, "Jimmy Palmiotti, can you sign this?"
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's you. I think that's you right behind my head.
No, that's Chad. That's Chad.
That's Chad.
Okay,
I
so
recognize his
Yeah, because I don't wear a
do-rag
do-rag
anywhere.
on my head.
Yeah.
But that's me in the left behind Ivy. Although that's not my.
Yeah, the Ivy is me actually.
Oh, okay, there you
Yes.
go.
It might be your hat.
I don't know. Whatever. Look,
Yeah.
you know, Amanda's the star. I'm
I
the
love
first.
those
I'm the first to
costumes.
admit it.
Now I remember. Those costumes are so cool.
She's the
thank
star, though.
you.
So hands down, Amanda Connor's a star. I know that. I'm okay with that. Yeah, in my house, I'm a star. Outside,
Yeah.
To be fair, Han, can you pull up when you actually dressed up as Harley? That was the next year's Comic-Con. We got matching masks. So Cole got them for us.
Oh,
She got
I'll
Harley
see if I
mask,
can pull
and
it.
she got me an Ivy mask. I know Ivy doesn't wear one, but we sort of had it like as a matching thing.
Well,
I feel like-
Nana told me her favorite thing when she's cosplaying is the part where she gets to wear a mask. So I commissioned someone on Etsy who made a set of masks for us, and they were just so
Nice.
pretty. It took everything in my body, like my whole soul, not to tell her the secret. It was, like
That's great.
But it was great because we walked into the Batman 80th anniversary party in Comic-Con Museum with that.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was fun. That party.
that was.
You guys
yeah.
were able to go?
Yeah, we were downstairs. We were with Todd McFarlane and Frank, right? Frank Miller and Jim. We were down in the basement.
We were looking. We were all over the place, actually.
Right, but most part we were downstairs.
Yeah.
You know, out of the way. They were giving speeches upstairs, and we were downstairs hanging out. You know, with the guys. It's funny because we see some of the people only like at the con, so we try to catch up real quick. I mean, Frank Miller we see a lot, right? But
we do now. We didn't used to.
Yeah, and then Todd I used to see like every 5 years. You know, I'd see him and we'd be like, "Oh, what's going on?" You know. So it's kind of nice to catch up with people. That's what the shows are great for, and the fans obviously. But some of the pros, sometimes you work with people you never met. until the cons.
Right. I
You know?
mean, because comic book writing and comic book, art is such a secluded thing to do. It's such a secluded career. You just sort of sit in front of your desk or in front of your computer and you just work all day in your home. So yeah, you tend to you get out.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Like the bone around the neck.
That's so awesome. You guys look so good.
Good night.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, so when you go to conventions, you sort of, it's your social time.
Exactly. It's social time for all of it. I mean, Nana and I, at least, like in TIFF too, like we only go to conventions really when we socialize these days. Oh,
that's one that I did.
That's awesome.
Hey,
I was
hang on.
So
where are you?
That is so great.
I was going for that toy, and so that's the one.
You did good.
You succeeded.
Very nice.
It's great.
We the fun part of doing Harley was for especially for Amanda and Chad was messing with her costume all the time.
Right.
Honestly, like you've given so much material to cosplayers. It's so much fun. No, there's a girl.
We love them.
There's if I can find her cosplay page, I'll show you. But there's a girl my older brother's friends with, and her intro to cosplay was basically Harley, and so she's made it her personal mission to cosplay every single outfit she's ever worn.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of work.
It is. And like she's done even like obscure, like just a dress she wore in like a back issue of something, or like in a side outfit, like a side episode of the animated series or something.
Wow.
I remember we went up to Warner Brothers. They invited us out to when they were shooting Birds of Prey, and we went into one of the offices, and they had Bernie the Beaver on a table in a tutu, and they had Harley's outfits for the movie. They had, remember the mannequins, and we were like, this is so inspirational, because for us it was like, it can't be the same costume all the time. What fun is that? And it was definitely a decision that we thank God DC for the first year was not giving Harley any attention. Like they really thought we were going to be off the book by like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they only thought we were going to last for about 6 issues.
Yeah, and so they were expecting that we wouldn't
only thought we were going to last for 6 issues. We were just as surprised as everybody else.
So part of our thing was like, well, we're just going to do whatever we want, and that was the first thing we did. Well. We took her away from the Joker. We took her out of Gotham. Amanda said different outfits all the time. Chad's changing the costumes.
Yeah, I mean, and our thing was, what girl on earth has one outfit in her closet?
Exactly.
Very true.
Who does that?
And the pushback was for a long time was that because it's licensed, the character, they license it, you can only have one outfit because the licenses will be confused what we're doing. And we said, no, as long as the themes on the cosplay are the same, the colors, the diamonds, as long as you have things that connected, you can keep changing Harley's outfit, anything you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an iconic,
There you go.
There you go. You got the black, you got the red, you got the diamonds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even like mess around with it a little bit and like change the colors. So like, it's so much fun. And like the stuff that you guys, the journey you took her on in the Harley comics is just so amazing. And like the journey, like for her to recover from the abuse and for like how she changed and became her own person. And it's just so much fun. I'm just like, I loved every minute of it. And also, who doesn't love a talking beaver?
Exactly.
I think there's someone on the internet that reviews the DC stuff, movies. People don't like her. She's very vocal. I can't think of her name, to be honest with you, but she hates the beaver. Like every time we put the beaver in the comic, she's like, "Oh my God, enough with these guys and the beaver jokes." And I think I wrote her one day and said, you know what? There's only like 1,200 more beaver jokes coming. After that, you'll be free and clear.
Only 1,200.
Yeah.
I wonder who that is.
I can't even remember. She's very popular. And,
is she blonde?
I think so.
I think I know who you're talking about. We're not gonna say it out loud, but though.
Yeah,
And
well,
yeah.
I mean, whatever. It does. I just know she hated the beaver, so I always found that funny. That you'd have time to hate the cartoon. That whatever.
Yeah, it's weird.
And when the beaver was in Birds of Prey, we were just laughing out loud because we're like, oh, okay, well, she's watching TV with a pet beaver, and I'm like, can Birds of Prey movie be like 9 hours longer, please? Because I just need more of that world.
It was so we loved it. We did I think we did like a podcast episode and like 2 or 3 streams just loving on Birds of Prey. Like there were so many things that as girls we loved, like everything like that guys kept criticizing. We loved even like the moment when they're in the middle of the fight scene and one of the girls hands a hair tie to the other and they're like, "Oh, that's so corny." It's like, "No. Have you ever had long hair?"
The most real thing. That's how they are. Like,
I think the most realistic thing for me was Harley vomiting in the other girl's pocketbook. I thought that was just hysterical.
Yes.
Or the love affair with the breakfast sandwich. It's like I feel like everyone can relate to that one.
It was really nice for us because Amanda has a food fascination, so I work that into Harley all the time. That because Amanda's like, oh my god, I want this and. It's fun to watch Amanda eat because she dances while she eats when she's happy.
It's genetic. My father does it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So, so a lot of the traits came out into the comic with Harley, and then when we saw it on film, we were just like laughing. We're like, okay, she really did a great job on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you guys like end up helping Kathy Ann at all, like giving any insight, or she just because I recognized a lot of details from your books in the movie.
Yeah, there were. I mean, so Margot read all the comics.
I mean, she's genuine. She really
is the genuine. Epitome of
She loves the character and she.
And it shows.
And I feel like every movie that she's in playing Harley, she hones the Harley character even tighter. She just gets better at it all the time. But and then you see like paparazzi pictures of her like standing in line at the airport and she's reading a Harley trade paperback. So you know that she's not just doing it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
She really loves the character.
Yeah. And she the first time we met her, she asked us what we thought,
which was kind of
like it was after Suicide Squad. She said, "So did I do okay? Was I okay?" And we're like, "You were fantastic." And then after Birds of Prey, we were in London for the premiere of that, and we saw her at the after party and. Same question. What'd you guys think and this and that and we gushed with her with the writer and I got to chase down Rosie Perez because she's another Brooklyn girl. So and Rosie was so cool. She was leaving and I just ran up to her. I said, "Look, I just want to say hi. My wife and I do the comic book." And she's like, "Bring your wife over here." And she stopped everything and we went and talked to her for a while and
I'll tell you how you got her attention.
What did I forget what I
you said, "Hey Brooklyn."
Oh, I said, hey Brooklyn, come here. And she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh," I introduced myself. And she was leaving, so I felt like such a I'm being that guy, but I figure when am I ever gonna see her again? And I said, so I just wanted to say hi and take that opportunity. And
I went in London.
Yeah, and everybody was so sweet. And Margot, we were on set for the fight scene at the end, and it was when Margot saw us, she roller skated over to us and gave us a hug. Which was pretty sweet, And
I love that.
She's really good on those skates. I just think the movie got unfair treatment because people were judging it before it came out.
True.
And I got to tell you, I don't get it because like a lot of guys didn't see it, and I'm like, how can you be a guy and
not want to watch
these beautiful women kicking ass on the screen? Like, why wouldn't you want to see that?
Yes.
My brain isn't wired like a lot of other people. Like I was like, that's a movie I would see. I don't care if it had nothing to do with it. I'd be going to see it that opening weekend. And but I think it was great, And we've talked to everybody online. I talked to a lot of the people involved, and I was hoping Amanda would be in the roller skating scene, but
Aw. That would have been amazing, though. Like,
So
we
if
got
you,
to-
Amanda, so if you were in the roller skates, what would your name be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
now you need a
Oh.
roller derby name.
Yes.
yeah, because we use a lot of good names in the comics. Because we're constantly naming the girls and the bad girls.
That's
The
a
other
good
team.
Yeah.
question.
We went to the roller derby to watch some roller derby, and we're like,
Oh,
okay,
nice.
let's get this down right. The rules are pretty crazy in our. It's a Fight Club roller skating.
Oh,
roller
nice.
derby.
Slamanda.
Slamanda. There
Oh,
you go.
nice.
Love it.
I like it.
That's
Love it.
I
perfect.
like it.
Although my cousin Samantha, I got that from my cousin Samantha because, like, back in the 80s when she was like a total punk rocker, she called herself Slammin' Sam.
Slam and Sam.
Yeah,
Somebody
right.
wrote Murder and Manda. I like that.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's really good. Yeah.
She definitely does that with like a good meal in front of her. She murders it.
I do murder.
Yeah,
I
oh my
can,
god.
I can murder a hot dog and a hamburger. And, yeah.
A dessert.
Murder and dessert. Like,
Any of the foods.
Yeah, pretty much.
Slamanda kick-ass.
Slamanda,
And
something
Murder and
salamander. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how is it for you guys to watch? Because you admitted that you weren't expecting for Harley to go past 6 issues at the time. Now Harley Quinn is basically a world phenomenon. Like, movies, comic books are on the rise. She's incredibly popular. How does that feel to be part of this journey for this character that became so iconic?
For me, it's gratifying because we took a character, because Harley has always been popular. I mean, ever since 1992, she's been popular. But the comics sort of comic popularity for characters sort of like waxes and wanes and stuff like that. And she was sort of on a and at that particular time, she had a title and then she didn't have a title, and I don't really know if they knew what to do with her. And when they gave it to us, we were just like, what do we do with her?
Yeah, we did. We
You
definitely
guys
didn't
kind
want
of saved her from obscurity because, like, at the time when the comics started coming out, she was still popular, of course, because, like, I don't know about anyone else, but at least my generation loves to go back and rewatch everything we had as kids all over and over.
Yes.
And so people were still discovering Harley and loving her, but up until your books came out, it was like people kind of started sleeping on her again. And then you guys reintroduced her and like expanded on what we already knew, and it just really it really gave new life to the character and gave her so much more than just being a bit of a wacky
right. I mean, she's and that's the thing, is she had such a distinctive personality. And I felt like the direction that they had been going in for like the previous year or two was just, they were sort of like shoehorning her personality into that dark, angst-ridden, it feels like it's
a killer,
well, I mean, she's a killer,
right.
but they were just, it's like there's like a type, it's like the deadly female, and she's always
femme fatale sort of thing.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
The femme
The femme
fatale
fatale.
trope.
Yeah, which is fine, but
Right.
it just seemed like it was so detached from what her original personality was, which was like this fun-loving, crazy kind of wacky character. Even though she's like a murdering, fun-loving, crazy, wacky character, it just seemed like they were getting away from like the core of her personality, and we wanted to steer it back to that. So
yeah, and we didn't want to look. She was a Batman universe supporting character. She was every time they had her, she was in Gotham. She was with the Joker. She was, we didn't. Of course, we wanted to take her out of the abusive relationship, but she still was just one of the rogues gallery. And we figured when they gave it to her, we said, gave the book to us, said we can't keep doing that. Like, we have to. Who is this girl? Who is this woman? what
she
is
had
she
to
about?
stand on her own 2 feet. And
Right,
not
and so much so
Yeah.
we decided to create give her her own supporting characters, and not rely on the Batman universe characters. So, in order to do that, we pulled her out of Gotham because there was no way she was going to function with all those characters around. And we did a comic as I had to explain every time to them that it doesn't have a supervillain this issue. It's just about Harley and her friends and how they're just surviving day to day.
Yeah. A
And
day in
it's-
the life of Harley.
Right. And it's not a superhero versus villain comic. I said, picture it as a big soap opera, and we're just hanging out with Harley. And they finally got it, like after the first year, like what we were doing. They finally, because they kept asking us, well, what do we put in the solicits? And I'm like, I don't know. We're just making it up. I'm like, if you check the
We're
solicits,
making it up
it's
as we
different.
go along.
Yeah, it's different than, and we had like these we were so into Harley's head, like, in the middle of an adventure, she would stop everything and do something else, right? Because that's the way she was. Her attention span was limited. And then there were other times where she was all heart, like with animals and with other people. And so we just kind of put a lot of ourselves in the character because we figured, well, we kind of know how we would act there. And I modeled a lot of it after Amanda, which makes sense if you hang out with her for like a week. But the goal was to make Harley feel like a real person, like feel like somebody who's functioning,
But
who
also
has-
not who might be a little too unstable.
right.
Yeah.
But she has a home. She has a place she lives. She has her friends who she depends on. She steps in and helps them whenever they can. And then when we started doing more of the books, we definitely, right away we were like, well, let's give her her own gang, a gang of Harleys. And we had fun with that because we got to check off like 100 different boxes with the gang of Harleys and have some fun. But at that point, DC was like, well, we don't know what you guys are doing. It's just selling. So do whatever you want. And that's when we started getting crazy, started introducing a lot of stuff, bringing Ivy, of course, the relationship in, as well as bringing Power Girl in once in a while because it's more of an adult.
The friendship that kind of appeared out of between Power Girl and Harley was so surprising. Like it worked so well.
It did.
But that's something I love though about what you guys did with Harley. It's like no matter how crazy and out of pocket she gets, she seems to make friends she makes enemies, of course, but like she seems to make friends everywhere she goes. Like
she does have a sparkly personality.
I can tell you somebody, one of your viewers loves Red Tool, and the joke with Red Tool, so you guys can know, and it didn't happen, but what happened was we were talking to the Deadpool writers at that time at Marvel, and we said, look, you guys create a Harley type character in your book, and we'll create a Deadpool type character
in our book.
in our book.
Yeah.
And then
that was the plan.
And then on this particular month, we're gonna do your cover artist is gonna work with Amanda, and without the companies knowing, the two covers were gonna fit together without telling the companies, right?
Nice.
Oh,
that was our plan.
So that was our plan. But the other guys decided that they might get fired for it, and they backed out of it.
No, they've robbed us.
Because it would have been the only comic company crossover where the comic company didn't know it happened. And, and again, having the two covers fit together, people
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, there would have been like a run on, trying to, get.
So that's
all
why
these books,
Yeah, it would have been crazy. And we were so bummed out it didn't happen, but we loved Red Tool, and we started laughing because we said he's like this sweet stalker that kind of,
stalker.
He just kind of grew on us. He's a lovable stalker. But he made sense in Harley's world, and he kind of adulted for her on some level too, which is a weird.
Like, I feel like Harley's universe in that book is just, it's the land of misfits. It's like
it is
the book of misfit toys. It's like, Harley is the lovable psycho killer, and Red Tool is the the
guy from the future sent back in time to stalk Harley. There we go. We love that. That looks great.
And it's just it's like a whole bunch of of misfits.
Yeah, we hope that whoever's writing Harley in the future sticks to keep the supporting cast in there somewhere. Don't go for the easy money all the time.
Yeah.
Whose Instagram is this? This is a friend of yours?
This is Holly Chance Love X. Oh, for goodness sake! Why do you need me to log in?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's
Don't do
okay.
it.
It's just.
I know it. I can read those dots.
You can read Morse code.
Please save me from this show. Oh.
But,
this
is
Power Girl is the older
Yes.
sister college roommate trying to keep
It's
her out
true.
of trouble.
Yeah, like they're an unlikely friendship, It's like and the thing is Power Girl is noble, and she's also like a really, really great straight man for Harley. Like Harley is like
She is.
Harley is that like crazy, energetic kitten that is like tackling the older cat, the cat just like is like, oh my god, and the kitten's just like, that's kind of the relationship that they have.
And we love Power Girl. I mean, they gave us Power Girl when nobody thought we could do anything with that character. And in 12 issues, we just redefined her. And we've been trying to get to do a Power Girl book ever since. They won't. Like, we keep asking them, we'll do a new Power Girl book.
We have a really good idea for a Power Girl.
They have no interest in it. But meanwhile, the trade books are completely sold out. The back issues are expensive. And it's another character we love because people were judging her based on her body. And they were body shaming the character. And with 12 issues, me, Justin, and Amanda went in and said, no, okay, so that's how she's built. The end.
Yeah. Now let's figure the rest of her out.
Right.
The story I've heard with how she ended up looking that way is pretty hysterical.
Yeah, and
With,
that's a true story. That's the Wally Wood story.
Yeah, the one where they kept criticizing something about the art, and he kept making her chest bigger.
No, actually, what it was he thought they weren't paying attention to him. So every issue he made her chest bigger until he said he was going to stop when they noticed it, and they said, "What's going on?" And he's like, "That's it. That's how she's built now."
Nice.
That was him being a wise guy, but we love the character,
Yeah.
and
I mean, it makes sense. Like, she's Kryptonian, so she would have these like ridiculous, like Superman has these ridiculous dimensions. It's his chest is the size of a Volkswagen, and he's built like she's like a female Superman.
yeah. I mean, like I said, people's the window thing and the costume, and I'm just like, you know what? Thor runs around with no pants on, and this guy.
So does He-Man.
They're superheroes. They don't even. They all should wear Speedos. Yeah, they all should. Both of them, all the male and females, just wear Speedos. It comes from artists loving to draw anatomy. They just love drawing, and clothing is a little tougher for them. As a matter of fact, Dan DiCarlo, who used to draw Archie, used to draw everybody naked, and then when he inked it, he would clothe them.
Oh my god,
Oh,
I didn't know that. That's
There's
almost a frightening way to.
Well,
think of
because he draws the form of the figures, so naked may be the wrong word.
just their anatomical shapes.
Yeah, he would draw them, and then he would clothe them afterwards. Like, he'd figure out the poses, how they look, because they all draw from modeling, from models and anatomy. So anatomy is
another thing is,
Yeah.
and I can't remember where I learned this. I can't remember if it was at the Kubert School or where I had learned this, but back in the day, like when superhero comics were in their infancy, they had to come out fast, and they needed artists that knew how to draw. But most the young artists that were coming out, they knew how to draw anatomy better than they knew how to draw clothing and folds. So the superhero outfit that caught on was just, they were doing basic anatomy, and then they would just,
slap
put
it on.
lines where, okay, this is where Superman's sleeve ends, and, put underwear on him. And basically they were doing the anatomical form and then they would color it in, so, and that was the easiest, fastest way to get the superhero books out, just because it's like you didn't have to worry about clothing and folds and what a suit jacket looked like and all
Right.
this other stuff.
Yeah, plus if you draw capes, you don't have to draw the back of anyone.
Right. Yeah.
There you go.
I think it all started, superhero.
That explains
started
so
as
much.
Shortcuts. Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
You just blew my mind a little bit with that. Oh my god. I'm not.
Because you're so cute. I love this.
Yeah, this is what I was explaining. She goes through the She goes through the comics and picks really obscure outfits, or like the comics and the shows and what have you, and replicates them because like Harley's her main thing, other than horror movie stuff. But
Right.
That's awesome.
Nice.
There was
So
one up there where she had like a mask in front of her, but it looked like Vampirella. She did like a really good Vampirella. Right? No, it was, where was it? I just saw it a second ago. But she's got like a mask in front of her, like a clown mask. But she looks like
it
Vampirella.
might have been off of the Harleen book.
Maybe.
But I do believe there's some. She's done some of the iconic outfits from your books.
Yeah,
that I have,
yeah.
But she actually abandoned Instagram a while ago. Amanda, meet Amanda.
It is, and it's another Amanda that rants a lot. So,
ironically, I don't rant that much. I had rant.
That's not true.
Well,
That's not true.
I don't rant on Twitter that much.
Right, on Twitter, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
on
I
Twitter.
didn't know you had a Twitter until Jimmy tagged you because I could never find your Twitter.
Oh yeah, I always thought like it would be fun to be like a social media blabbermouth. I fantasized about doing it, and then when reality hit, I'm like, I'd rather just be drawing.
yeah.
Well, it is a tough thing to navigate because if you have any form of opinion, you get attacked.
Yep.
And I've had it many
Especially on
times
Twitter.
where people are just like, "How dare you?" And I'm just like, "Oh, what can I tell you?"
That's the thing.
How do you square that with being an artist, like a creator?
Yeah.
How are you like, but I have lots of valid reasons why I make the art choices that I do. Like,
yeah. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
exhausting sometimes, but I do like the Twitter because I do push a lot of Amanda's art on it, and
Thank you.
yeah, I'm always tagging you and doing stuff, even though she doesn't. But I also feel it's a communication, right, with the audience because obviously, I'm not we're not on Facebook, so we don't do Facebook, and so it's only Instagram.
fuck it, Zuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they do suck. Facebook does suck. There's no privacy there. Facebook is like an open door to your house. It's a little too much.
Have you guys ever like? Now I'm sort of gonna promote, and I don't have any shot to take. But anyway, have you guys ever heard of Vero?
Yes.
You guys
I
should,
love
if
Vero.
you're not on
Vero,
Vero,
yeah,
you should
the app. I've heard of the app.
It's
another?
called Vero.
amazing. You guys should try it.
It's another
called-
social media thing, or what is it?
It's
It's
called
a very
Vero.
artist. It's a very artist-based social media, and basically how it works is that there is no algorithm. There is no like data mining on there, and
It's
you
called
can-
Vero True Social.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love the
And-
note take legitimately. And the best thing about it, I think, is that like you can choose when you post something, you choose which audience you want to see it. So you
Oh,
can
okay.
just like just
I
your
love
closest friends or the whole world. It's
Yeah, I have a lot of people follow me, but I don't know why. Like this, like it's like
really no idea.
no, but I know why the comic people do. There's certain people, but then I look and it was like I don't know, it was like 60,000 or something. And I'm like, they all can't be hanging on what I'm saying. I mean, Jesus, and my opinions is some like bubblegum sometimes. I'm just like, oh, that movie sucked, and then I realize that's a headline for a story online. All of a sudden, Jimmy Palmiotti thinks it sucks, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, no, let me explain. And I realized that okay, anything I say could be a headline now in a stupid story somewhere. So I'm really careful about why I didn't like something. I'm very but I realize that it's like, okay, I can't really, express myself too much.
I think that's a good thing, though. I mean, I think
Thank you.
Well, no. I think like rather than saying something sucks, because you know,
Right. No, it's
you
easy.
know that,
It's easy.
yeah. I mean, you know that like a bunch of people worked really, really hard on the movie.
No.
And
Yeah.
explaining why you didn't like it is a better thing to
Oh
do.
no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying I did. What I'm saying is an example of it.
Right,
If I do,
right.
Yeah.
no, because I definitely do. I will recommend things before. I do not diss any art or any writer or
Right.
anything. I don't.
Mhm.
But I'll say, hey, this is a great show. Everybody should check it out. Blah blah blah. But I don't know. Sometimes I think we'd be better off doing a blog or something where we just talk and then having people just have to deal with the fact that we're idiots sometimes. I mean,
I
You're not allowed to
think,
be fallible anymore, guys. Come on.
no matter what you say, you're going to disappoint someone. Yeah, I said one thing about everyone. Now that the FDA approved the COVID vaccine, now's a good time to get it. Now that it's been approved. And somebody said, "How dare you tell me what to do?" And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't even know."
I was just making a suggestion.
I was making a suggestion. The FDA, because people kept telling me I won't take it till the FDA approves it. I'm like, okay, today the FDA approved it. Now's a great time to think about getting the shot. Simple little thing. I got attacked by people. You're anti-American. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, all I said was the FDA. So you can't win.
If you follow Dave Bautista, which is absolutely the sweetest man. We've met him thanks to a convention we did a few months ago. But he's gotten so fed up with people attacking him over vaccine posts. He just put "I'm vaxxed" damn it, in his name, and it's like that's one. Some people would be like, you know what, I'm not going to talk about it. He's like, you know what, I'm going to shove it so far up in your face. And it's like all you did was share some literature about it. It's
right,
like,
and I don't want to make it who I am. Like I had Black Lives Matter between my name, and somebody said, well, you're not this, and you're not, and I'm like, you know what? Can you research what the movement's about before you start telling me what I am or am not? And I said, can you just,
I understand
research
how that
what?
feels.
Yeah, research. Can you read?
It takes 5 seconds to do a Google search, but that's too long.
No, it is. It's funny, but I also on the flip side, right? You're from Brooklyn. Nothing is more American than that. Thank you very much.
Amen. That's where Captain America's from, isn't he?
But so a lot of it is like, okay, I just gotta. Amanda made me these signs. Can I show them one of your signs you made me? Can I show them? Okay, let me get one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I found another Harley.
Well, that's the only one I made you.
Yes.
I made the other signs for me.
But have you shown them your husband as Harley's?
Okay, let's see if you can.
Okay. I will have to find that one.
So it's a snail on top of a turtle.
Nice.
And
it's beautiful.
And it stays right in front of me, so I see it all the time. And that's supposed to help me. And then I made the signs for myself, which was you could show that one.
All right.
You made your own motivational posters.
Yes, he did. Oh, here we go.
Keep calm and have integrity.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
So I have to tell myself these things. And then what's this one? Oh, this one Amanda made me.
Oh, I did make you another sign.
It made me another sign when I was talking to someone and something fell through and everything. And she made me this sign while I was talking to the person.
Listen.
Accurate.
Because he was getting really upset, and I'm like, no. This is a good thing because you've been complaining about this for months.
Right. While I'm talking, I have these magic signs come down in front of me. Off camera where the people can't see it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what?
Like Wile E. Coyote.
Yes. Yes. Like I turn into a lollipop and I hold a sign that says sucker.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
You guys are just so cute. I love it.
We're a team. We're a team, so it's teamwork. Wherever the weakness of each person, we kind of go in and step in and fight.
Yeah.
For that part of it,
Yeah, he picks up where I drop off.
Amanda doesn't like to answer emails.
I just I'm always afraid of like wording it perfect. You were talking about that before. You were talking about when somebody is like saying something through text or something, you can't always tell what's going on emotionally in their head. And I'm always like trying to like form an email or a text where it's like, I don't want the person to think I'm mad, but I want to talk about this subject. So, you know, I end up, you know, trying to like compose it perfectly, and it takes so much time.
Oh my God.
Whereas Jimmy is
hours.
just like, you know, his like email responses looks great, you know.
Or you're an asshole with a smile face, right? Because everybody knows that means you're an asshole, smile face, meaning you're not really an asshole. I'm just poking out.
So when I answer emails, it takes a long time for me to like figure out what I'm gonna say, and I'm like, I'd rather be drawing. So
yeah,
can I just draw you a picture that says what I mean to say? And we'll
that's true.
Yes,
just a photo of like a pile of cat poop in a box. You know, there you go. That's how she feels, you know.
Just a frowny face.
Yeah. So,
but you know,
I'd rather be drawing in such a mood.
I'd rather be drawing in a mood.
I'd love to answer you, but I'd rather be drawing. Have a nice day.
That's the next sign. I'd rather be drawing.
I think that could be your signature.
Yeah. I'd rather be drawing.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out one day.
I think it's like there's a benefit to, like you were saying, Amanda, figuring out how to speak to people where they are, and like trying to think of your audience's reception of it before you send a message.
Yeah.
A literal message, right? But also there's like, yes, that's good that we may think of our audience more before we say whatever we feel. However, there's like a weaponization of that conscientiousness. Like, you're not allowed to say anything flippant ever at all.
Right.
And like everything you say is like the weight of gold. And you're like, dude, I just
see Amanda. Amanda.
I just want to make a fart joke and like not have that define me. Is that okay? Like, yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
Our Amanda here, she coaches kids in speech and what have you, and different ways of talking, like, you know, talking and getting your point across.
Yes.
So you triggered the inner teacher.
Well, yes.
I mean, I wish that, you know, I wish you could just, you know, say funny off the cuff things. You know, I miss that actually.
And kind of give one another the benefit of doubt. Like that the first thing you step to is, let me assume positive intent instead of let me put up a defensive, like, clearly this person is here to mess up my day. Like,
emojis are helpful with that sometimes.
Yeah, emojis do, as long as they're not the sausage one. Yes. And you know, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we first did Harley, when we literally were coming out with Harley Zero, there was this big controversy about suicide in our book. Do you guys remember that at all?
No.
Okay, so there was a long story short, Harley was sitting in a bathtub and she had a blow dryer hanging over her in her hand, and she says to the audience, you didn't really think I would do that, do you? Like, it was like sort of like a joke, right? But people said it was insensitive.
Well,
and
let's back it up.
Okay.
So
context matters.
Sorry.
So basically this was like, so we got each page done by different artists. That was Harley Zero, is that we're going to get each page, you know, a different artist. And one of the pages was going to be a page where we try out new artists or give a really, really talented fan a chance to do a piece of art. And the one that for some reason got picked, I don't even remember. I don't think we picked it.
We didn't pick it.
Somebody else picked it.
Yeah.
Right. There wasn't any dialogue on it yet, but basically it was a play. It was supposed to end up being a play on words of Suicide Squad. And so they sent it to the artist before they had a chance to have any dialogue on it. And it blew up into, it looked like, well, first of all, the first panel was like, Harley was like holding up a giant tower in a lightning storm. The second one, she was like in a whale's mouth.
With a feather.
Like tickling the top of his mouth. And then there was another one. And then there was one where she's like in a bathtub with a hairdryer. So the whole thing was like, you know, a word play with the Suicide Squad thing. But
Right.
unfortunately, this all happened during Suicide Prevention Month.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And we were at Baltimore Comic Con.
We were at a con
we had
oblivious.
no idea what was going on, and this shit was blowing up. And then I don't even remember who told us.
Some fan said, you know, you guys are all over the internet today. I'm like, oh, what do we do now? And that was the joke, right? And like, he's like, well, this and there's a whole there's a thing you can sign against you and Amanda working in comic. Like, there's a whole thing. Like, somebody did a petition, and we're like, what is this about? And then people, Warner Brothers, were trying to like fix it and everything without us ever even knowing what was going on. So when we got home from the con, I wrote a paragraph and I just said, hey, look, this was a tryout page. It was done in a Looney Tunes kind of style, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And of course, and people were saying, you know, Amanda and Jimmy are encouraging suicide, right? Which is like, what? You know, like, anybody that knows us, like, it was insane, right?
Yeah.
But people were like, not in comics, were like,
gross mischaracterization.
Yeah. And so I wrote this one paragraph where I said, I apologize, but I said, look, it was taken out of context. Of course, not in a million years will we ever encourage any activity like that. We, of course, tell you should go talk to people. That's whatever. I wrote this paragraph and I sent it out. I wasn't even going to clear it with DC. I sent it out, and it killed everything. In a matter of an afternoon, everyone stopped making noise about it. And actually, Diane Nelson and people at DC wrote me and said that was the perfect response. I said, it's the perfect response because it's true. It's
yes.
This thing was like, it got blown out of proportion. Somebody wanted to make anyway. Long story short, though, it was the wrong kind of attention, but everybody knew Harley Zero was coming out in another couple of weeks, you know. But it was like so you had to be so careful with everything because there are people out there looking for anything.
Also, I mean, you're dealing with a character who I don't think toes the line is quite extreme enough with like mental health.
You know, we deal with you know, when we wrote the book, we dealt with all her problems. You know, we talked about it. She talked to her friends, and you know, she had all these situations that she dealt with stuff, and you know, we researched it. Right? We actually, you know, is this the right thing to say for the character to say to somebody who's going through that, you know? And again, the abusive relationship issue 25 was it? I think 24 or 25, where Harley went to Gotham and had that conversation with the Joker. Like, let me tell you,
conversation.
Yeah, it's conversation. But let me tell you, we sat there and we said, okay, this has to be, the right thing has to be said here. And we got some help from professional people to help us, like, what's the language, the correct language to put here.
That's amazing.
Because
you did that.
Because people will look at this on some level and it'll point out maybe they're in a bad relationship, or maybe they're in a place where they don't even realize something's happening to them.
Yes,
so, you know. So
I really wish more creators did that. Reached out for the proper language.
Yeah,
and we had a great editor. Chris Conroy helped us out with that as well. And
he was a really good guide for, you know. He's like one of the best editors up there, I think, because he knows how to guide, you know, creators and a story in a good direction.
But it was, you know, again, it was important for us because we knew people hated that her and the Joker weren't together. And it was our job to point out why they weren't, and not to make it because he's an asshole and because he's this. It's because of the power play.
Wear it.
Right. It was the power play. You know, again, Yeah, it was. I mean, in the middle of our insane book, right? We had these moments, but I always remember as a kid, I would learn stuff in different ways. It wasn't always about the teacher telling me. It was about how I pulled things from entertainment and things
Yes.
that lessons that stood with me. So it's something we always try to do with the characters on some level, even though on the surface it looks a little wild and crazy, but there are grounded moments, and I think that's why our run stood out a little bit, because it wasn't always just joke,
Or fight,
fight, which is a lot of the books are fight.
I mean, or the fight just isn't a physical fight, like
Right.
really.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
it's about what's going on up here inside Harley, or
Yeah, this
whatever
is
she's dealing with.
right. And,
Yeah.
and we were reminded very often by DC that it's a all ages book, because a lot of times we push the envelope. That was our job, to push the
Yeah.
envelope. And then they would come back and say, well, it is all ages. Is there a way you can tone it down without losing?
Well, I don't feel like we put anything in that like kids wouldn't love, like like the poo issue.
Right, but we did a whole issue in a
Kids love poo humor. I know, I love it.
this 13-year-old does. We did a whole issue in a nudist colony in Bahamas,
That's
And-
hilarious.
Yeah, and when we did that,
remember
they were like,
that
"How are you
one.
going to pull that off?" And
that
I don't know
one.
what issue it is,
It was-
but it's the one with Harley and Ivy on the cover, and they're both like, making like faces.
Yeah, we did it Austin Powers style, where everything is like.
I was just gonna say, please tell me it was like they magically step behind a bush as they
There were
take
a lot of
the-
parakeets.
Yes.
Hang on, I
There
may
are a lot of
actually have it.
parakeets
Hold
flying
on,
around.
I'll do-
tropical birds, coconuts,
Coconuts.
trees.
That's gorgeous.
You know,
Steve
now
is-
that you
That's
mention
awesome.
it, with DC's new Black Label that they've been working with, would you
Yeah.
guys ever, like, if they gave you a chance to do a Harley Black Label, would
They
you?
did.
We did. We did. That was the last book we did.
Harley And
Wow.
Birds of Prey. And interestingly, about the Black Label, and this was, post Batawang. So
I took a second, but I was like, oh, right, that incident. Anyway.
that so what happened is that they got really, really clenched about things after that happened. So the ironically, we were able to get away with more like physical, like crazy humor in the original series, the original all ages series, than we were in the Black Label book.
Oh, because they
Because
were
of the
they were
zeitgeist.
squinting at you guys a little more.
Yes.
Right. And
Damn
And-
it!
and-
One penis ruined it for everyone.
one penis ruined it for
It's a good T-shirt.
Isn't that always how it works, though?
Yeah, history sense.
Cortez.
That's for me.
so they allowed some cursing, and they allowed, I think they allowed like some butt cracks or something like that, but that was it. So we started
Nice,
calling
I
it the
found
beige
it.
label instead of the black label. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
you found it. Yeah,
there it is.
that's the issue.
Wait, can you show us the cover?
Yeah, so hang on, I got I don't have like a separate issue. I buy them like this.
That's the trade book. Yeah.
yeah,
the trade.
yeah, that
It's in
works.
number 2.
Yeah.
The volumes. Yeah, I love the volumes because that's all I
Yeah,
can
that's-
really.
So they went. Yeah, they
It's
went
so
to
pretty.
a senior citizen nudist colony.
Sweet.
And,
Oh, I
baby.
love it. Age and sex. Yes, transgressive
Yes,
AF.
by the way, this
Well,
is actually one of my favorite. Hang on,
Yeah.
I love this one.
Oh, we use that picture.
Big thighs save lives. Yay.
When we're posting about going on vacation, we post that one all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, we just felt we needed a vacation issue.
We did, and it's and I think the fun part of it is Cyborgman and Xena all running around the nudist colony.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But we used that issue to explain why Harley and Ivy aren't together more often. it like turned into a serious issue at one point, and it sort of explained the dynamics of their relationship and why it can't be blissful.
Yeah.
Like they would like it
Gotcha.
to be.
I'm just like showing the random pages. I'm not even doing a page by
Oh
page.
goodness gracious!
Pages. But yeah.
We like Psy because there are hardly any senior citizen superheroes. So Psy and Xena were sort of the antidote to that.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool. That's actually an amazing point. I've never really considered that there aren't a lot of like
older.
Instead of aging out a superhero, we just reboot them.
yeah.
Restart
Or
a run.
hand it, or like the controversy right now with John Kent being handed the Superman mantle, and now he's out as bisexual, and now there's drama because not my Superman. No, it's literally not your Superman.
Right, it's a different character.
You're right. It's
Yes.
not your Superman.
And that's perfectly fine. There is no. If art appeals to every single human being, is it really art? Like if it doesn't draw well up some sort of emotion that
I guess
actually
the perception
means something
could be
to people?
different, right? Art is about giving people different people perceive it differently.
Yes.
Right.
Like art is. So I think in a way everybody sees things a little, they hear music, you go, oh, I hate that band, oh, I love that band. Everybody absorbs entertainment and art differently, and that's
Not
that's
just
the beauty.
like me on Tuesday absorbs it differently than me on Friday.
Oh,
It's not
right.
even
Yeah.
like you were saying with the Black Label, you couldn't do as much as you would have necessarily otherwise because of the time that you were creating it within.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here's another thing to keep in mind. There, and I was explaining this. I was actually talking about this with Stephanie Phillips, who is one of the new Harley writers, and we were talking. This is a few years back, and we were talking about like she had done this great comic about young girls playing hockey, and somebody complained about it, and I'm like, how can
Is this 1940?
That's hysterical, especially
And it
since one of my co-hosts here, Nana, is a retired hockey player.
There you go.
Wait.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So somebody was complaining, and it wasn't, and it was like a mom who was like, I don't know, she found something about it that she didn't like. And I think it had really sort of thrown Stephanie a little bit. And I was explaining to Stephanie, I was like, there is not a concept on Earth that at least one person in
Yes.
the world won't
Yep.
find offensive.
Yes.
Yep.
And I used Bambi, the animated, the animated Bambi thing it had outraged, I think it was like some sort of hunting club or something, because when
the villain
Bambi's
is the
mother got
hunter?
shot,
What?
it
Okay, sorry.
Spoilers!
spoiler alert, when Bambi's mother got shot,
Is it too soon?
it made hunters look bad, even though that's what happens. Deers get shot when hunters go out. But this hunting society was offended because of this movie. So there is nothing on earth that you can make that won't offend somebody.
That's true.
That is very
And
true.
like your sign said, the best you can do is just act with integrity.
So,
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
make it true to the message you are trying to say, and understand that not everyone is able, and not everyone has the ears to hear your message at that time. And that doesn't
Right.
mean
No.
that your
it-
message is invalid.
Yeah, there was a group of Ivy fans that hated me. They said I was destroying Ivy in the Harley Quinn series and this and that, and especially one person in particular railed against me. He's destroying Ivy, dude. And then like 3 years later, she wrote me and says, I want to apologize because looking back on what you did, you actually brought her out into the front. And I said, hey,
yeah,
it's-
you guys really did.
right. And I said, it's okay. I told her, I said, it's perfectly fine. I said, you were emotional. You connected with the character. I never gave you a fight. I just said,
Wow.
that's your opinion. I said,
Honestly, That's amazing that they reached out to you. Like, that is
really
gross.
is.
I don't know who you are, but kudos to you, person.
Right, and she and I was just like, it's okay. That's what you felt at the time. That's okay. Look, I remember as a kid, I'd look at like Van Gogh and I'd be like, I don't know, And now I look at it and I know about the artist, and I look at the art and it's so much sadness in it.
Have you seen?
It's so much stuff,
Have you seen the meme of Chris Farley in Van Gogh Down by the River?
No.
It's a screenshot of that scene from SNL with Farley yelling at Spade and Christina Applegate, and it's remade in Van Gogh's Starry Night palette and aesthetic. And I died. I was like, I'm unnerved, but this is amazing.
Just to comment on what you were saying about there's nothing that won't offend people. When I was in high school and I would go down to the mall, I usually ended up having to take my little brothers, story of my life. And we were in Target one day, and I was walking with my boyfriend, and my brothers were off doing their own thing. And all of a sudden, we start to hear shouting, and I hear my youngest brother Matt call my name. So of course, Mama Bear sister comes into play, and I'm off like a shot. And I find this old man towering over my barely 90-pound soaking wet brother at the time, pissed off because he's wearing a shirt of a bear, and the bear, it says, "I support the right to arm bears," and it's a bear holding a gun. Not bear arms. And he's yelling at my brother about the war in Iraq, and he's saying, people died of being shot, and and that's offensive to hunters, and this and that. And this man was just completely irate, and my brother's like freaking out. He's backing away slowly, and the guy I was dating at the time had to get between them because he went to put hands on my brother, and I'm just like, sir, are you okay?
That's the thing, though.
You're angry at a little kid for his stupid ass shirt, and we had to go get a manager. And when we explained to them, we're explaining it to her as we're bringing her to come find the man, and she's just like, "What?"
You're like incredulous about it. You're just like, how is somebody getting so worked up about this like goofy shirt?
And no matter how many times we see that happen, it's like always a surprise, because I just default back to like, of course nobody would be like an asshole about this.
Right.
And then somebody is an asshole about it.
Right.
I'm
Yogi Bear has no pants. There's a whole thing. Like, why doesn't Yogi Bear have pants?
When Nana and I started Nerd Queens, we had business cards, of course, and we used to say travelers, world travelers, nerds, cosplayers, and dreamers, and that meant like we're dreaming. But at the time, there was the whole dreamer controversy with the political sphere. My dad actually came to me and was like, "Listen, I don't want to say it, but I feel like there's someone out there who will look at your card and be like, oh, we don't support the Dreamer Act," and just get freaked out. And I was like, that's so stupid. But I took his advice just to be safe, because like,
right, it's insanely like, you're just like, it's insanely stupid. But like, and that's like one of the reasons you don't see me on social media, is because you never know, like, what you're gonna say that's gonna set somebody off. It's like terrifying.
Oh yeah, our Amanda
and you guys miss out on a lot of opinions. You guys miss out on a lot of crazy opinions.
I'm so sad that we do.
Yeah, from Amanda.
Because like I would love to like be able to balance like any bad news with your hot take, or like like our Amanda here is one of our more outspoken ladies, but that's why we love her, honestly. Yes. I don't know if it's an Amanda thing. It seems like every Amanda I know.
It could be her.
I like how we're talking about how Amanda is outspoken. I'm
kind of envying the other Amanda over there with the wine, and I'm thinking, I need some wine.
You can. It's allowed. It's allowed.
I like the decision for pegboard.
Right? Listen, I'm a mother of 4. I coach 2 different college speech teams. A girl needs her ability to organize and my ADHD means I need to be able to like redesign it every 2 months.
Wait,
So,
mother of 4?
what?
She said, "Wait, mother of 4."
Did I say mother of 4? Mother of 2.
Yeah.
Not mother of 4.
I was like,
I was literally
Two feels like
just
4.
panicking in my head.
Nope.
thinking I'm a
Yeah,
I'm like,
child.
are we
pregnant
missing
with
2 kids?
twins drinking wine.
I was just thinking,
They eventually look like 4.
How many fingers am I holding up, Amanda?
Yeah, right? No. Listen, I just got back from dinner with college friends, okay? I'm not
Oh, that's fun.
Yes. And we have honestly why I might have thought of 4 kids is because they have 2 daughters and I have a son and a daughter. So our 4 kids were just hanging out tonight together.
I was just thinking to myself, I don't remember the names of her other 2 children. I'm a
Yeah, me
terrible person. How am I gonna
they're
keep this?
imaginary. No, I think that I am really lucky to live in the neighborhood that we lucked out with like the neighbors that are around us in the house that we bought, and the next door neighbors are like in their late 70s maybe, and one sorry. Oh no, the internet. Oh no, it's a headline. No, I'm just kidding. But the mother said, or the wife of the couple next door, the retired couple next door that lived to us, we were just chatting one day and she said, I think the problem with social media is that it makes people believe that they can just say whatever they want whenever they want, and that it removes the real person that's in front of them. Like I would never, yes, I am. Thank you, Cole. I am slightly more mouthy.
But
In
it's
fact,
why we
my
love
name in
you.
French class was La Bouche. So it's true. I voted for myself for most talkative. My nickname when I was a child was Energizer Bunny because he just keeps going and going and going.
I hope you're not mad. I meant it
No,
as a loving
no.
thing.
Girl, I can't run from it. Why run from it? But at the same time, like, I recognize that, like, when I say something, it can come across as like a slap to some people. And I am not the kind of person who would ever slap another human being. Or I would never say something to someone hoping that it would stab them in the heart with a dagger. Like that's not who I am as a person, but that is how some people can perceive me because of the how many ever 200-ish characters that they get to judge me from. And I engage in that. So I'm like inviting them to judge me on those 200-ish characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't fault them for having a misunderstanding of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, part of the gamble. But I think I have become more conscientious over the last, I would say like 6 months, especially the vaccination pandemonium. Like you were talking about, Jimmy, is just, it was like 18 bridges too far for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to mute the words jab, vaccine, COVID, just forever. I'm just going to mute them forever from my timeline. Right. Not because I don't care, not because I don't have an opinion, but because like it is exhausting.
It's an avalanche.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It's an avalanche.
And like you said, you can say something just kind of off the cuff and casually. Somebody will take it so seriously. And then when they bring that concern or that complaint to you, because you do care as a human being, it weighs on you the rest of the day, the rest of your week. And it's like, well, now I'm distracted from the things that I could be doing that could be benefiting it. Like,
you're not staying present.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to stay present when you're like worrying, you know. And my mom calls me worrier princess.
I like that.
Oh my God!
I like that.
It.
I want a shirt. I want a shirt. The next sign, warrior princess.
Warrior princess. So yeah, you know, I get the, you know, when you're worried about like that kind of a thing, it makes it hard for you to like do the crap that you need to get done during the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, with social media, like in group chats with my friends, we're always talking about how Twitter is a garbage fire. But honestly, it's like Twitter, any social media, in my opinion, is both horrible and beautiful because it allows you to connect with people. Like, I would not know anyone in the room right now if it wasn't for social media.
Is that weird? I was just having dinner in New Bohemia tonight with my friends from college, and I took a picture of a special from the restaurant we were eating at that was goulash, which was adorable. And I sent it, and I was like, Nana, look! And then I told them, like, oh, I have this friend who is from the Czech Republic. She lives in the UK now, but, like, the fact that I live in a town where the founding population is Czech is like this cool, I don't know, dialogue
it's such a bizarre, like, it's such a, when it's used correctly, it's so beautiful. I mean, like, the fact that I can look back at 10 years ago, I found my soulmate, my partner in crime, in the form of a random Czech girl who at the time had a bit of an attitude problem, and was
excuse me, I never got rid of my attitude problem.
And
I learned to put up with it.
And when we met, we instantly hated each other, though. You know, it's like. Well, that's a story for another time, but like it's like that. And then I go back to thinking how when I met her, I had literally just lost my friends from high school because they turned out to be terrible people, and I found my truest friend in a person who was on the other side of the planet. And like
I lost her friends from high school, so she went online, and then there was this cow.
Not true. I'm sorry. Hockey badass. When we say she's retired, we don't mean like she did it casually. We mean like
she got injured and couldn't play anymore, so they had to beat her off the team. Like, she had like fate had to hurt her to get her to stop.
Oh my God, they had to hurt you to get you to stop. Like a true hockey player. You had to get badly hurt.
They didn't exactly have to hurt me. I managed to do that myself, but yeah.
But like but like, and also with social media, like we've been able to do so many crazy things. Like the rest of us, I don't know if you're familiar, but we're part of the Snyder Cut fandom. And with Zack Snyder's Justice League, we managed to make that movie happen. Yeah. A 4-hour-long global phenomenon happen with the power of social media.
Not just that movie, we raised well over by now, $500,000 for AFSP.
We are close to $1 million.
I knew we were
for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
It's from broke ass people going through a pandemic. All of us, not just these people on the screen, but everyone that like is on our timeline, all of our mutual friends, and like that's the beautiful part of social media. Cole.
Yeah, that's so like, right. Even when there's bad things about social media, it's hard for me to completely like ever say, "Oh, I hate it."
Yeah, she says it. Like, we passed 750K. That was back at JusticeCon, which is a tiny little convention. Actually, Cole and I and our friend Meg has done. We've passed 750,000 there, so we should be over that now.
Yeah, we should hit 1 million by SnyderCon then.
And literally today, during Fandom, we had another person who was a big part of the Snyder Cut fandom on like Twitter, in the Twitter universe, who was literally doing a walk for hope with AFSP.
Yeah, and out of a darkness walk. That was Abdul.
Yeah. So it's so cool to be able to connect with people that we otherwise wouldn't have the chance to. And at the same time, it invites so much worry For the
Like,
warrior
even-
princesses.
Like, even when
I
there's
totally want that
people
shirt
who
now.
are like attacking me or something for something, like a bully or whatever, it's like I've been bullied literally my entire life. Like, at this point, it's just harder to see the bad side of it. I don't know.
I'm
like,
here to bully your bullies for you, Cole, in case you need it.
yes, I know. You're one of. That's part of what makes her an outspoken, loved member of the League of Mayhem.
Yes.
It was funny when we invited her. She was like, "Oh, did you want Steven, her husband, because her husband's in the comic world?" We were like, "No, we wanted you."
He's
were
literally
like,
on a stream with Real Anarchy right now, like on the other side of the room.
You pray he didn't see that comment about being mother of 4. He'd be asking you questions.
Be like, excuse me.
she was like, "Oh, you were inviting Steven, right?" I was like, "No, we wanted just you. We're here for you."
Then, like, I like. It's so weird because, although obviously we all know each other from Twitter and everything, we also have developed like actual personal relationships with one another that are meaningful, where like we can come together and actually be a place of support and care for each other. Like if somebody's going through crap, they're there for you to be able to like vent or ask for help or whatever. And like
I did that.
yes, yeah, I was just thinking like
I know.
me 3 weeks ago, you last week, like it's like it, but it is, you have to be able to draw the line so that you don't let the negative stuff come after you. I think it's difficult because, like you said, you guys have an editor that you really admire, and an editor's job is to like cull your ideas into a singular kind of direction, right? And so like
I think it's the
consistency
definition of that frog, that turtle poster you have. Slow
Yes.
the fuck down.
Slow the fuck down. Yeah.
and
I needed that.
it takes a lot of like self-assuredness to submit yourself to the process of critique, even if it's constructive, even if you know that person is there to help. Like it's painful sometimes to be
You don't
like,
want to hear it sometimes.
yes, I want to keep that panel, I want to keep this storyline, and like that being willing to submit yourself to like that engagement with another person who has your best interest at heart is such a powerful human experience. Unfortunately, social media is not the place where you can assume everyone has your best interest at heart.
True.
Yeah. I feel like you get to know a group of people on social media, the ones that are always there. You know, like I definitely have, with all the people I have following me, there's definitely like, I'd say an outspoken 30 or 40 that always have a comment for a post I do or whatever. And I feel like I know them, even though, and it's funny because we do shows and they'll come up and they'll say, hey, I'm this is my name on, and I'll be like, oh man, how nice to meet you. And, it happens all the time because they don't have their real face, or they have an icon that's a superhero, or, they'll, so I don't really know them. But it is really nice to see them at the shows and have them introduce themselves. And, I get a good laugh out of it. And I usually give them free stuff too, because I can't help that.
You guys heard it here. You heard it.
Our Amanda, before you came on, we were going over Jimmy's Kickstarter for Painkiller Jane, and we were scrolling through it, and there was a mystery box, and they were telling us how at one point in the pandemic they put toilet paper in the mystery box.
Gold.
They were going through their house and putting stuff in. He said he put cat hair in there. He put all kinds of stuff.
Listen, I know people who would pay for that cat hair. I know someone who makes cat sweaters with cat fur.
No, the cat hair just appears there. Yeah. But
wait, do you have 1, 2? Are they named after DC? Like what?
There's a story.
Yeah, it's too long. It's too long. We have a black cat named Devo.
But he lives over at my mom's house now.
Right. Because we travel so much, the cat loves it there much more than
Okay,
here.
that is a story. Okay.
You know, my mom spoils him so much. He comes back here and he's like, you know.
He's at
But
Amanda's
he
parents.
likes it when we go over there and pay attention to him and brush him.
Well,
and,
yes,
you
because
know.
because he's your owner. Like that's how cats work.
Yeah.
They own you. It's not
Yeah.
the other way around. Cat story, please.
I'm Devo's alpha though.
Yeah, he
Well, when he was young, he bit me and I bit him back.
no, that was Frankie.
Oh, was that Frankie?
That was
no,
Frankie.
I did the same thing to
It's
Devo.
okay. When my
Jimmy,
dad,
do you
when my
usually bite cats or?
my mom would bite if the
I'll be
cat,
right
if the cat. My mom did that a few times with the cat and the dog. If they were biting her too much, she bit it back, and it never happened again.
Nope, doesn't happen. He doesn't do it anymore.
But my dad, when he first moved in with my mom, she had her.
Is that one of your 4 kids?
One of my
Amanda?
4 children that I don't. 2
He looks like a
children.
monkey.
Rory, are
Oh,
you
there
a
you go. The
monkey?
monkey's gone.
Oh, it's Rory. Hi,
Yeah,
Rory.
I know. We still get asked if they're twins all the time. Hey, sweetie, you're supposed to be in bed. I'm gonna go take her to bed. I'll be back.
Okay.
When my parents first got together and they moved in together, my mom had her orange tabby cat, and Oliver was a guy cat, and he did not like having another man in the house. So he would do stuff like chew up my dad's box of tissues. And one day my dad got so mad, and there's someone out there who's going to report me to the AFPCA or something, and stuck the box on the cat's head.
Yeah, sure.
He
why
just
not?
grabbed it and popped it on his head, and Oliver got stuck, and he was like smacking into things, and then he got out, and that was the end of the animosity. It was over from then on. Like he was even a part of the the marriage proposal. That was it.
Aw.
Yeah.
So when you said you bit the cat, I was like, it works.
Yeah, it does work. It does work.
It works
And,
for
It's
kids, too.
establishing, it's establishing.
and the cat loves me. I mean, the
He
cat
does. He adores you.
Yeah, I brush him all the time, and he's a good little bastard. He's definitely funny.
Yeah.
But I like all animals, so I mean I really like all of them, even the ones I eat.
So was there a particular reason why you chose a beaver for it to be Harley's companion, or
it was a background prop. It was in Zero, she's in an old like storage unit, and she's like got her booze and her cupcakes, and she's just reminiscing about I mean, in my mind, this was post Suicide Squad, so like and we never established this. We never made it canon in any of the stories. But
I actually did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay.
We,
Well, anyway.
we said the bomb in her neck didn't go
Yeah,
off,
like
so
I think
who cares?
like at a certain point, Amanda Waller just tried to kill her, and like it malfunctioned. So she's like, "All right, I'm out of here." So she goes to her storage shed to like look at her long boxes of comics and all this stuff. And Jimmy had just put like a taxidermied beaver on one of the shelves. And
Speaking of the beaver, in case somebody in the chat doesn't know, I actually found the beaver.
Yeah, you did. Perfect. Bernie the
Yeah,
beaver.
Bernie the beaver.
Wait,
yeah.
I love Bernie so
is this
much.
a cousin of the Snyder's beaver?
No, this is actually the beaver. This one was here first.
Yeah, this one was your. Well, we don't know. I think.
Well,
There
yes.
was like
They could be the older cousin. I'm just wondering if they're the cousin.
We actually did a story when how she got the beaver.
Well, yes.
Because her first boyfriend she ever had, the house that the boyfriend lived in, the father had all these taxidermied animals, and then something happened with the boy, and she went in and stole the beaver.
Yeah, she
to
was
remind her of him.
Yeah.
He went,
Reclaim the pussy, girl. Reclaim it.
yeah, his name was Bernie, and
Yeah.
we told that in the origin, in the secret origins story.
So the reason, the reason he talks is because, my thing was everybody who has a pet talks to their pet. And I've never met somebody who has a pet that doesn't talk to their pet. And
Right.
I'm like, so that, I mean, I guess by definition, that's like really not insanity. But when your pets start talking back to you, that's
Yeah.
when it's like, what? There's something going on in there. So
I'm
I was
embarrassed to say it took me a few panels to realize that Bernie was not actually talking. I'm so embarrassed by that. I'm thinking, to me,
it's
Look,
I think it's because we tried to make it kind of hard to not until many issues later, are people going, is she talking to the beaver? Like, is
Well,
she
we
having
did-
a one-sided conversation?
the word balloon has a funny
It's like a
look to it.
purple kind of
Like Red
imaginary-
Tool's word balloon was all hammers and nails and saws.
Yeah.
We tried to get a little more
creative.
fancy.
That was Dave Sharp
was
designing those. So we were like, Dave, well done.
But the beaver also was because I can write a million beaver jokes and
Yes.
and
Yes.
I did, and there's a whole, people. So at one point she has a rooster named Mike.
Yeah, that
Right?
one's in there too. Yeah.
Right. So that's Mike Cock.
Yes.
Right? Mike. It's Mike.
I
Cock.
have, I have this trophy because I made beaver jokes. So I'm with you.
I think there's a
Actually, Chris made up my cock.
Yes, he came up. Yeah.
We were
No,
at,
don't get him in trouble. He's gonna get in trouble. Yeah.
It was
Anyway,
a collaborative effort. No one can tell who started it.
The rooster's name was Mike, and we just did it's one panel where the rooster has his head in the hole, Bernie's hole, like he's putting his head through the hole. And I don't know if anybody even caught any of this stuff because it was like it's so subliminal. It's
No, I'm kidding.
It's actually on I think it's on a splash page or something. But
I love it's the the graphic novel version of Shrek. Like every joke going just over the heads of the people that aren't supposed to get it.
So the last full Harley book we did was Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. We started it when the movie was going to come out, and we finished it afterwards. And they finally collected it. And it is our we tell this story that literally wraps up 100 other stories. It has every character in Harley's universe is in these 4 issues. And Bernie has a lot of lines in it, and we also have what we did is our final confrontation with the Joker in it, that we actually had to tone down.
Yeah, we did.
DC said it was a little too violent, and
He's
which is really funny, right?
We're listening.
It's really funny when he's in another book, he can go murder thousands of people and all this kind of stuff.
He staples his own face on. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
But in our book, it was too violent. So anyway, but we did. If you read those 4 issues, it's sort of like a big, a Valentine's Day card for everybody that stuck with our 110 issues before it, because we put everything in it.
Yeah.
Everything. Power Girl's in it. Atlee's in it. Everybody. We literally did a checklist and worked it in this 100 and something pages of stories.
You know what's wild, and I realize that film and the actual graphic novels themselves are 2 very different media, and so it's not. I'm not drawing I'm not comparing them, but finding the parallels. Right. I think one of the things that really appealed to me about Birds of Prey, the movie, 2 things. One, I felt that's actually I've seen women in that circumstance in their life, and I've seen them be stuck between a rock and a hard place and figuring out do I transgress this norm or do I compress myself so that I can fit within it, right? Mm-hmm. In work, in romance, in family relationships, in so many different areas of life. But then what I loved about it is that everybody's story had its own arc, and the arc was complete. Mm-hmm, and I feel that has to be a nod. There's no way that that's not a nod to what you're describing you did. Wrap it all up, bring it all back to where it started,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest mistake the movie made was the title, because
100%.
It should have been called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yes.
Simple,
I agree.
Simple title. everyone would have
Wow,
got it.
I wonder who thought of that first. Weird.
I think the people in charge, but
No, I mean Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey as title.
But when we did our book, we said we're not going to do it with the titles you guys are doing. It has to be Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, otherwise we're not doing the book. And they said yes. They said okay, fine. Do what you want to do.
How do you like? I, as a married person, I understand like there's a marriage relationship, and then you can have a working relationship that's separate, and you can compartmentalize whatever. So maybe your conflict resolution in your relationship is different, and your like marriage relationship is different. How do you work out when like Jimmy wants to do one thing and you want to do another?
Here's the book, by the way. This is without the dust jacket, so it's kind of cool.
Oh my god,
I love
very
it.
Cool.
And then the dust jacket's a little shiny, but the dust jacket is the.
I don't think I would have
first
used
cover.
that
Yeah,
that cover for that one. I think I would have used cover to number 3, but that's besides the point.
Anyway.
We argue.
Who wins most of the time?
No, you think you're right.
She probably is, Jimmy. I got you, Amanda.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, no, because we have to. Yeah, like sometimes it gets a little heated.
Yeah, we disagree on things. I have like a little bit of a sledgehammer approach sometimes, and I'm very Italian sometimes.
Right.
I'm very much like, boo.
And I'm a scalpel person.
Yes, Amanda will sit there she'll look at something for 12 hours, where I will literally look at it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And there is no in between. Like I will literally, she'll go upstairs and look at something, and then I'll check back later in the day, and she'll be like, "I'm still working on that."
Yeah, chewing her cud. My husband is like Amanda. Amanda's thought process is much more like my husband's, and I'm more like, "Oh, it's a wall, bang bang. All right, it's down. Moving on."
Yeah.
But it works because with like when we were doing Harley, we would talk about the story, and then I would just go in and write it. And then we'd get the art back, and Amanda would rewrite it to match the art.
Wow.
And then change the dialogue and stuff like that, because I wasn't worried.
You had some pretty funny dialogue that I would leave a lot in.
Right. But so when I wrote the book, all I wanted to do was
finessing.
All I wanted to do is make Amanda laugh when I wrote it.
Aww.
So
I love that.
I wrote the book for her sense of humor. And so when she'd get it,
you're messed up. I like you, Amanda.
There's a lot of, there is a whole scene where the Harley robot, there's one where we had like a Transformer issue, where she literally sits on a stadium where the bad guys are.
She peels the roof off.
She sits on it like a toilet and shoots missiles out of her ass and blows up the place. So it's like, you go back and read these books, you're going to see stuff.
Found my new bag piece.
I like toilet humor. What can I say?
But we also, when we write these things, we like reflect. Like we had a lot of we were getting these phone calls, right? This spam stuff and everything. So we did a whole issue where Harley, and I think it was Harley, right?
It was Bolly Quinn.
Bolly Quinn.
Yeah.
Where they go to India and they take down a call center.
Oh.
Right, because we were having issues with the phone and everything, and there's a whole issue where they take out a call center.
That is hilarious.
So the book was reflecting whatever was going on in our lives. Pretty much was making it into the book on some bizarro level.
That's funny.
And
I love that so much.
I need a job where I can do that.
But we were lucky enough to have an audience that just kept hanging in there with us and going, okay, what are they going to do next? I had somebody tell me, they're like, I liked your book because I never knew what the hell was next. Like, it wasn't like a regular comic where it was like, next issue, they're going to fight. She's like, I don't know where the hell you're going.
She peels the roof off of a stadium and poops bombs on people.
No, there is ridiculous. She has 100 parakeets. The scene in the new movie with all the birds, that's straight out of the book.
Yes.
And so there's little things that we would see and we'd go, oh, let's put that in the book. And thank God we didn't. Dan DiDio, God bless him, was just like, That's your book. You
He's
guys
like, I'm not even gonna look at it. Just do what you do.
do
because
whatever you
it's
want.
working. I think maybe
She
he read
would
it, like,
cage 100 songbirds. Ah,
Well,
the
he-
self-hate. Harley!
No, I remember Dan going to me. Oh, we did. So you guys may or may not remember. We did a scratch and sniff issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
never again.
so when we did that, Dan DiDio actually came to me.
Me and Tiff are both like,
Well,
where is it?
They had it. One of the smells. So we had to pick from all the smells in this catalog,
no.
right? And one of the smells was a barbecue, like a burnt, like it smelled like a
It
burnt.
It was barbecue, but it actually spent and my childhood home burned down in 1991. Right? It smelled more like that than the actual. Like, it didn't smell like saucy
Good
slab
barbecue.
of ribs. It smelled like a burnt house.
So,
Like
so
burning.
that smell was available to us if we wanted that smell in a story. And I said, we have Bernie the Beaver has the burned hole. He has,
Well, he has the burnt hole, and he blew up in issue 0. The Joker blows up the storage unit,
Right.
and he's like all like half of him is like fried.
Right.
So-
So we thought, well, maybe we'll put a panel in the book, and the smell will be that burnt smell if you scratch
Yeah.
Bernie. And then the deal came back and said, I'm not going to have people standing in a comic store scratching a beaver
And sniffing it.
and sniffing it.
And
Sniffing
smelling smoke.
And we didn't even think of that. And
I
I'm like,
would have said, cheers, my friends. Let's
So-
do this shit.
So what did they let us do? They let us put a pot smell in.
Yeah, that one we couldn't figure out. We're like, so no burned beaver smell, but
we could do
marijuana
weed.
is
That's all.
okay.
That's the ambiance of the shop they're already in. You know.
The putting together of the scratch and sniff issue is a whole show in itself, because choosing the scents and then having them tell us, okay, but when you do the smells, it only could be on this page in
Oh
this
my God,
spot
it was a nightmare.
and that page on that spot. So we had to write a whole story where the smells landed on a specific panel on a specific page.
God, I know this pain. I know this pain.
It was like,
God,
oh
how
my
did you not go nose blind?
It
Well,
was-
we did.
Well, come on,
We
if
did,
they-
and not only that, but it just like trying to shoehorn a story around a
A
smell.
big
No.
point.
A scratch and sniff.
It's so difficult.
3 smells.
yes, suntan lotion, pot. What was the other
No,
one?
it was pizza, pot, and
It's suntan lotion.
was it? Something?
Yeah,
it was
because they're
something
at the
lotion,
beach.
right? Yeah.
Look, it was the only scratch and sniff comic done for a reason, But I'll tell you, that was the point. It was selling so well, they let us do it. Like they let us do
Yes.
stuff. Little Black Book was like them going, yeah, who cares? Do whatever you want. And we started picking out characters, like who would be a good team up, with Harley, and why not have Lobo with Harley? It makes sense they would hang out,
It was so fun.
Well,
Why
why
do
didn't
you
you guys?
You know
Why
what?
do you
why
think
can't you
people
guys
weren't ready
book?
for that?
You know the little black book that came in that plastic
plastic.
packaging.
Plastic.
And I remember I have it signed from you guys because they were handing them out at San Diego. So
Did
I
you
have
ever
it
open
signed
it?
from you. I have it right here. Hang on.
No,
That's the
you know,
Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
I
That's-
think we ended up getting 3 copies. We got one each for us to get signed, and then one we opened.
Okay, yeah, because that's the Wonder Woman issue, the first one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Where she steals Wonder Woman's outfit, and then Wonder Woman has to wear her outfit, and they're
Oh, nice.
and they're fighting crime.
I must say
Tiff!
that.
Cosplay,
Yes.
cosplay,
Yes.
Tiff.
Yes.
So, like my
Look,
There
My
it is. Yeah, there you go.
look at that's your names.
Yeah, yeah.
My
Yeah,
sixth
that
sense
was
of
on the
humor is
show.
like I want to be the beaver. I want to cosplay as the beaver. Like that's
gotta do it. You
my
gotta
that's
do
my
it.
idea.
Please.
You gotta smell like smoke too.
So when you read, if you ever read this, because I recommend this, I'm going to hold it up again. I recommend this
yeah,
because
hang
at
on.
one point Harley winds up in Bruce Wayne's bedroom.
Yeah.
At the Wayne Mansion,
Ow.
and she wakes up. Alfred makes her breakfast.
Well, don't spoil it.
No, I'm going to spoil a little bit.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
But Alfred, seeing the beaver, and she had the beaver with him, decides that, oh, this needs to be fixed. So while
So
she's
apparently he's, we've decided that Alfred is also an expert taxidermist,
right.
along with his many
It's
other skills.
110%.
It's a side hobby.
Yeah.
So Alfred does a nice job helping Harley's beaver.
Yes.
He touched her
He
beaver.
repairs her
Hey.
beaver.
If Michael Caine offered to help with my beaver, I'd say yes. Doesn't have to
There you
retire
go.
from that.
I'm trying to find a page.
Maybe that's
where-
why you're
Honestly,
retired.
Honestly, I feel like
So here's the
any
whole page. Let's see if I can get it in focus or
Oh no, your
without the green screen. It's close up.
Oh,
to
it's-
Oh my god! Oh my, that's so explicit. I love it.
Oh, that
and
is
Alfred's also making Harley breakfast because the next page is Harley's waking up.
The only thing you left out was literally pillow talk with Alfred and Harley. That's amazing.
Well, they do act. Harley's you see she's kind of naked there, getting out of bed. And Alfred turns his head because he's like
he's a gentleman.
he's a
Because
gentleman.
he's Alfred.
He's Alfred, and she's smelling the breakfast eggs and bacon. That's what she's doing in that bottom panel there.
Oh, is that what she's
She
smelling?
loves her
Yeah.
food.
Honestly, I feel like any well-trained British like a houseman would definitely have a side hobby in taxidermy.
Yes.
I think
'Cause
you're
Well,
what
right.
if
especially if you're Batman. Like, what does he do with all of the dead people? We got to dispose of them somehow. I legitimately, I have an aunt who is a hobby taxidermist, and I'm not kidding. It's a real thing.
Well,
Like-
Amanda in this book wrote Clayface go into the bathroom.
Poomer. We should just call it Poomer. Poomer.
Who humor?
Yeah,
Oh
there's.
Yeah,
It's a fun book. It was a fun book. I actually, after doing those few pages with Harley and Alfred, I was like, that would be a mini series I would do, like Harley Quinn and Alfred.
Honestly,
Yes!
yes, please.
Great
The odd couple.
here's another one you can appreciate. This is page 1.
Hang on.
Red Tool with Harley and Ivy at the beach. But, unlike the other books, Amanda actually drew all of this. So this is all Amanda.
Oh!
I like
Nice.
doing the
This is
interiors.
when
I
I
don't
need-
do it that often, but I
I
enjoy
need
We're
it.
to-
keeping track. Jimmy, get some brownie points for this.
Where I need DC to be I need to send that clip to DC. Like, we want Alfred and Harley.
Yep. Yeah, it was a fun pairing up because, he's so buttoned down and she's so.
And that would be exactly why she would want to unbutton him. Like, that's irresistible to Harley.
Yep.
That would be the name of the series. Alfred Unbuttoned.
Can we
I'm
talk
about-
about the
I'm
fact
going
that
to-
Tiff
oh my God.
literally has? Look at Tiff!
And she has the what's his
I have
name?
Bruce.
Wait, where's
yeah,
Enosh?
It's Bruce.
Usually she has her husband in this role, but he's elsewhere at the moment.
You mean your husband dresses like a furry? A furry?
Oh,
He
no,
can
he
actually,
wears
can
a
actually fit
onesie.
into my pink onesie from the movie that she has Bruce with, and so he's come in before. So
Nice.
yeah, he
That
can fit
I
in
would
those
love
pajamas.
to see.
I
I'm
can,
about
send,
to-
I can
I-
send him
I
in if
need
you'd
to-
like.
You know that
Well,
onesie? We actually have stories with that onesie because basically when we started this stream, it was the main sort of goal of this stream is to bring more female voices into the fandom, and so it's always been predominantly female stream, but sometimes occasionally Tiv's husband makes an appearance, and the first time he's done this, he kind of popped up from behind that Superman stand that's behind Tiv, and
He,
wore
like,
that
snuck
pink
in.
onesie. And we made it a sort of a running joke that if a man wants to show up on this stream and it's not like a special guest, they have to wear a pink onesie.
Either that,
Well,
or
you
he
guys
actually,
could have told me that ahead of time. But you
either
blew it.
that, or he'll
Next-
put a
next
wig on
time.
and he goes, "It's Jolene."
That's that one is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
It's
That's my
making
first-
me want to man up a little more. Let me just man up a little more.
He's got his hair.
Yes, that's Jolene right
That
there.
wig needs to be shot.
I just discovered there is actually an American mullet championship that focuses on children
What?
ages like 0 through
Wow.
18. I'm obsessed.
No.
Nice.
You look like Grissom. You look like,
I like
Grissom from CSI.
Yeah, the original
I can
one in
switch up
Nevada.
if you're.
Well, it's Longmire. Oh, nice. All right, now we're on Gilligan's Island.
Love boat.
And Captain and Tennille, that could be.
Oh my god!
There you go.
I'm old enough to understand that.
That's right. Google it, folks.
No, that's a classic. Cheers to that.
Yes.
You like this hat on?
I do like it. It's cute.
I have a lot of hats.
It is cute.
I have a lot of hats because I do a lot of shows, so I like to change hats.
So, okay, you do a lot of shows. What? Obviously, you're both artists, like graphic artists, right? But how did you get into that? And like, what else? How else do you express yourself artistically?
Well, I got into comics. I mean, both of my parents are artists. And I think my mom sort of hoped that I would become the next Georgia O'Keeffe or Marie Cassatt. And then I was
in my book.
But my dad is actually a frustrated. He went into advertising because his parents said, "You want to do comic books? That's not what That's not a real job." And so he went into advertising and.
And then he got to live vicariously through you, living through a beaver. That's amazing.
But yes, my parents, in spite of me not being, Georgia O'Keeffe or Marie Cassatt.
We do sign beavers at the shows, by the way.
We've
signed beavers.
Yeah, we've signed beavers.
Yeah, so if you come to the show, bring your beaver. We'll sign it.
I feel like I need to get one now.
Both of them.
I gotta get the
Do
beaver.
not test me because I'll do it.
Yeah.
No, we will, Cole. We must. There is no option.
It's like a rock and roll
I'll have to
thing.
get a
Sign your
vegan
beaver.
one though. I'm not very fond of carrying dead animals, but I'll find one that looks like it.
Yeah, people bring stuff.
We
beavers.
actually, as one of our finishing up Harley gifts from one of the guys.
I have them. I'll bring them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring 'em.
Yes.
We got a beaver from
Nice.
one of a guy, Larry, that works up at DC sent us.
There have been. We should call this the beaver stream because there have been so many iconic beavers on this stream. Like all of ours,
Yeah,
and then this
there
one,
are.
and
That's the
then
thing,
the
like,
Zack
Amanda,
Snyder.
you gotta understand, like,
so-
beaver is a thing also for, like, when we, with the Snyder Cut fandom, because, oh my god. Hang on.
Oh, nice. Oh, that is so
Oh my
adorable.
god, look at that face.
Oh
my
You just gotta put a tutu on him.
When they molded him, they didn't give him teeth. He needs teeth.
Well, he's less dangerous looking, I guess.
Yeah, beavers really threaten. That would be beaver dentata, and that would be.
He needs teeth.
It's just like how.
Okay, so I'm actually born on Groundhog's Day, so my brother has always called me a groundhog as like my pet name. I'm like
That's
a
kind of
rodent.
awesome. That's a great holiday to be born on.
Right?
As a quick aside, there's a funny story about a beaver in this stream. So we've had Zack Snyder on a number of times, and we've become quite friendly with him and his wife. And we had his wife on one day.
Cheers to Deborah. We love you, Deborah.
And we were chatting with her, and we're like, Deb, we got to ask you this really hard-hitting question that people need the answer to. What's with the beaver? Because, like, because Zach had posted a picture or something, or been on a stream or what have you.
It was an interview, and behind
Yeah.
him there was a really
taxidermy beaver wearing a crown.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
He wasn't wearing a crown. He was wearing headphones. The crown is lost.
No, the crown was replaced with headphones, but it just appeared behind him out of nowhere one day. And like with the fandom, they're used to Zach putting things into pictures, into moments, like as an Easter egg. So everybody was like, Zach, what's with the beaver? And like Zach, he doesn't always see his comments. So when we had her there, and she starts howling with laughter, and she says that was an anniversary present. He saw it in a thrift store or something, and bought it and brought it home. And she didn't expect it to become like a thing for DC creators, that there would be a beaver involved. And apparently one of their youngest children had just like grabbed it from one room and put it in his office, and that's where it lives now. And it gets
and also absconded with the crown. They don't know. She's like, I don't know where it is. I don't.
That story then carried on, because when we did the Justice Con, we had a panel where we had ladies from their recent movie Army of the Dead, and we asked them, so how did you met Snyder's? And one of them said, well, first time I saw Zack Snyder, he was stroking a taxidermy beaver in his office.
Okay, so that's there you go. Make sure the beaver has place of pride in your office, and then just anytime you're on it. In the middle of negotiations.
It's too big. It's too big. The hat's too big. I gotta find him a smaller hat.
Yeah. I think we have small hats. I think they're all in the Christmas decorations, though.
It's a strange thing to say. I think we have small hats.
So, what are obviously like you made iconic Harley art? What are your favorite Harley, not cosplays, but Harley Halloween costumes? This is a different standard, right? I feel like cosplay is like professional Halloween costumes, and then there's the rest of us. Have you seen like ones that stick with you guys?
You mean like ones you can buy at like Hot Topic?
No, like the one, like somebody like putting together what Tiff is wearing right now.
I like when guys dress like Harley.
Oh,
I really love gender bending. Like that's one of my favorite things.
Harvey Quinn.
Yeah, he's
Harvey Quinn.
Harley's.
Yeah.
There's a guy I've ran into at a number of conventions who cosplays Harley, and he has like a motorcycle jacket he made, and he also has a full lumberjack beard, and he dyes it half black, half red, and like he just does it because he loves Harley, and it's like, yes, that's all I can say. It's like, yes.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, you know, we've done like store signings, and like somebody will come with their like 2-year-old daughter in a little Harley outfit, and it's adorable.
Aww.
You know, it's so cute. You know, and yeah, like, you know, they're all my favorites. You know,
I'll go change my monkey into a Harley. BRB.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel we've been actually 10 minutes over our usual limit, so I feel this might be a good place to.
That's what beavers do. They keep everybody's interest.
It's the beaver's fault.
It's the beaver's
It is the beaver's fault.
But I feel like this might be a good place to sort of finish it off today. So
we're gonna get dinner after this.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Oh, it was such a pleasure, you guys. It was so much fun.
We learned a lot.
The Kickstarter for Painkiller Jane is in our bio. And do you guys have a release date yet, or is that whenever it's finished?
The Kickstarter goes on for 2 more weeks. So once you join it, once we finish it, then we ship the book out to the printer, and usually within a month and a half, everybody gets the book in their mail.
So if people get moving now, get soon.
Exactly what I was thinking, Tim.
Christmas, yeah. I look, you know, and if you want it right away when it ends, we do send a digital version to everyone that backs it. So it'll be in your email pretty quick. So it's $6 to get the book for digital.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you guys for spending time with us. And
this has been an absolute blast. Thank you for seeing my random Twitter comment and taking a chance and saying yes. You said
making an amazingly, wonderfully awesome, silly, transgressive, female character. Breath of fresh air.
All kinds of butt. Yeah.
The only danger with coming on the show is you said ask me anything, so
it's true. I'm surprised you it was very tame. Very tame. I
talk about so much beaver.
No, you guys gotta come back, and that's where it gets less tame. We gotta start slow, you know.
Okay.
This is a first date.
We'll start the show at midnight next time. We're all a little punchy.
Next time with wine, all of us, not just Amanda, all of us. Next time with wine.
Next time I'll be out of town. You can just have Amanda all to yourself.
I mean,
where are you going?
In the next room, I guess.
All right.
Are they talking about me?
I'll be like this with the wall, huh?
And then I'll walk in a pink suit.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
You have to
I'll be wearing my Yogi the Bear suit.
You have to come dressed as Harvey Quinn.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got to
You
dress
can
as
join if
Harley
you're Harley
Quinn.
Quinn.
Hey, look, this guy is back again. Patrick G-string.
Okay, we're gonna actually sign off now and handle Patrick later.
Take care, guys. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you, League of Mayhem, signing
Thank you
off.
so much.
Thank you,